Yeah, so like I said, the divorce was finalized quite fast, guys. 2 days. Not they didn't drag it out. They didn't have to drag it out. It shows you that having a equal, almost equal amounts of wealth has its advantages during these times. And of course, maybe also having good communication, having a prenup. What do you think, RJ? Which
I
one
think,
was which one of the three could have been, or all three? I don't know.
yeah,
What
I
share
would
your thoughts
say,
about it?
yeah. So I would say, most importantly would be the prenup, definitely, because good communication is good, and but you can also say, while you're communicating in a great way, I hear you, but I don't agree with you. I think I need more money, or I think I should have that. So it's not only communication. And what was the third one? Yeah,
Having equal, almost equal
yeah,
amounts
equal
of.
equal amounts can help. That can definitely help if you have, like, if you both have money, because you then it's like, yeah, but who's gonna support who? But at the same time, what the prenup does is, and the other two factors do not, is that the prenup prevents discussions, because you've already laid down the conditions uh, of your divorce beforehand. So that's something that the prenup does, that communication and
Well, I think you might have a point there, but this is my. So you're a practicing lawyer.
yeah.
For those who didn't know, I'm a nobody. Now, maybe I'm somebody, but let's say in this case, I'm a nobody.
Yeah, hey, you need
I
to go
do.
listen to my thought of the day, my random thought of the day, man. Because you need the if you're gonna make statements like that, you need the advice.
I do disagree with you on that fact,
Okay,
but because
share your thoughts.
so I do agree with you. The prenup helps, but I think what also is a major part of this being amicable is their equal amounts. Because how many times do you see prenups have been signed, sealed, and yet people enter the court and try to fight that prenup because they're trying to cash in on your back.
Siete dinero. Yeah, yeah. Well, you always have the right to start a court case. You always have the right
Okay, okay,
to go to court. No one can take away that right. However, if you go to court, you need to be able to prove that you are in the right. It's going to be difficult to prove that you don't agree with something that you signed. So, with or without a prenup, you can still go to court. Even with equal amounts, um, you can still go to court. Now, like I said, the equal amount protects the parent that does not need to pay child support. Majority of time, that's the father.
okay.
It protects him to a certain extent. It doesn't mean that he probably would still need to pay something, but you can have it under control. I do agree with you that if the difference is big, then you would need to pay more child support or alimony, child support, etc. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Fair
I
game.
so yeah.
Fair game.
Listen,
Fair game.
I'm a
I had
listen.
to push back. I had to push back.
Yeah,
You,
yeah.
you, you think because you're the expert that I'm gonna leave you talking crazy out here? I got to
No,
push
no.
back.
Yeah, you can push back. You can push back, but
I don't
yeah,
know
I'm
if
just saying,
we'll.
and that's something Kr. That's something I always tell clients. Um, I understand, I'm a lawyer, I understand law. I know what's better legally, but what's better legally isn't always convenient in, let's say, in practice. I'll give an example. Let's say you have someone working in the construction industry. The construction industry is one of the most volatile sectors there is. It's just
Mm.
one of the most volatile. There's always discussions. There's always disputes. Always, every day, everything.
Companies going bankrupt left and right as well. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Now there are ways that you can limit your risks. The main way is to write things on paper. If you make an agreement, if for example you want to change the design, you want to change, you change your mind and you agree to something different, you need to do it in writing. A majority of the time that doesn't happen because you're working, you get the instruction, you change it, right? So I know legally that the best thing would be to do is to tell, let's say if you're the one performing the construction work and someone comes in and or the owner or the people who assigned the assignment to you comes in and tells you, hey, listen, contractor, you need to change this. I know that legally what you have to do is let that person write it down, no matter how small it is, because legally that would make your position better. Oftentimes they don't do it because they don't have a pen. They're working, they're dirty, they have their hands are dirty, but they're working with cement and other raw materials. So it's like, yeah, Mr. Lawyer, we understand what you're saying, but it's not, in practice, it's very difficult to apply. So I would say the same goes for this situation. The best thing to do legally, and I will always say it, is to have a prenup. That will always be the best thing to do. Is it always a convenient thing to do? We'll talk about that later. We'll talk about later in a bit. We'll talk about why people choose not to proceed with a prenup despite all the horror stories. I said horror, right? Okay. So I'm just checking. But that's different. That's yeah. So we'll discuss it in a bit. But legally, it's always better to have a prenup.
Clear. But not everyone thinks this way.